Hi, my name is Renee Lafoe, and I'd like to share with you the following thoughts about the prodigal child as shared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 15, by Jesus. Now, both the Old and New Testaments say God opposes the proud and gives his grace to the humble. But what does it mean for God to oppose the proud? I think it means that God visits the intrinsic consequences of a proud person's sin onto the proud person, not to delight in punishing them, but to give them a healthy dose of reality. It is a gift of kindness. One consequence is that we get in touch with our thirst for life, and this can draw us contritely to God through Jesus Christ. Those persons who are convinced by God about the consequences of their sin start to search for real peace, love, joy, and grace in more honest and healthy ways and places. Do we see this in the scriptures? Yes, we see it in the parable of the prodigal child. The father in the parable does not show anger, resentment, bitterness, self-pity, meanness, wanting vengeance, or desiring to rain down hellfire on his child, or to be a dark, controlling disciplinarian with his youngest child when she or he asks for their inheritance. The father does not threaten, coerce, manipulate, or throw a guilt trip at his child to get him to stay and toe the family line. Instead, he gives his child the opportunity and ability to experience the world so that she or he will hopefully get to see the consequences of their misguided loyalties, beliefs, decisions, and actions. Sin, or jettisoning spiritual holiness, creates distance between us and God, just like it does between the prodigal child and the father. It's this distance that turns out to be very unpleasant for the prodigal child. The father visits the intrinsic consequences of his child's sins on his child by allowing the child to hit rock bottom. When she or he does hit rock bottom, the child remembers their father's house, and they begin to miss, long, and thirst and hunger for what they once had. Like a clean conscience, healthy relationships, a warm place to sleep, and the promise of her or his hunger and thirst being met each day. The burden, emptiness, or vacuum that the prodigal child feels helps motivate them to search for and make their way back to her or his father's house in a humble, repentant, and contrite fashion. This act of coming back to the Father is what constitutes the act of repentance. Jesus asks this from each of us after we have sinned each time.